Mark, I take it good news in terms of Martin Waghorn. Can you sum up your thoughts, given it's only going to be 2 weeks?
Yeah, you saw the reaction straight after the injury. It looked quite severe, didn't it, in terms of the pain it caused the player, but the scan's been pleasing. It's a grade 1, so you're looking at 2 to 3 weeks. That's really good news for us, because it could have been a lot worse.
So you're looking maybe after the international break. Does that mean you'll be fit for the Old Firm game?
Again, it's ifs and buts. Maybe right now he's on the treadmill this morning. He started his work and he's working with the medical team. So it's really pleasing news, because had it been tendon related, it could have dragged on for weeks and weeks. So hopefully 2 at best, 3 at worst, thereabouts.
Do you push him then, or do you just have to let it?
No, we do it the same as last year. Do it whatever's right for the player. It's about the long-term welfare of the player always. There's no point pushing him, especially at this stage of the season. If it's the last game of the season, possibly you'd look at it. But no, not at all. It's about his long-term welfare and doing the right thing by him. And we have enough expertise in the building to make sure we make a good decision.
Is that an area you're still looking to strengthen up front? Would you like to bring in?
Yeah, we are. We're looking. I think we need one more up front. We need one more defensive option. So a lot of work's going on right now. So fingers crossed we can make progress in the next couple of days, if not sooner. But all these things are there's so many people after the same players. We have to try and do your work under the radar as best you can, and hopefully get it over the line.
Could something be imminent then?
I hope so.
You're not going to tell us any names?
Absolutely not.
As players in, Mark, there was a story in the paper suggesting James Tavernier's attracting interest from.
I don't know where from. I read it first of all a week ago. We've had no contact whatsoever, so I'm bemused as to where it comes from. Detailed information about what bids have come in apparently, but it's news to us.
Have you had any contact for any of your players? Or
No, thankfully no, which is good news. But there's no doubt the way the market's moving down south, at some stage they'll seek value, and that's just common sense. They'll look and try and find value in a player. All we can do as clubs in Scotland is to make sure we get good value for that player. So if we get a fee we think is appropriate and the player goes on to better, to higher wages and everything else, then everyone wins. Fantastic. That means that player served us really well in the meantime, and we got good service out of him, and everyone's happy.
Queen of the South in the cup. What do you make of that draw?
It's a home draw. Most pleasing, it's a home draw. So looking forward to it. They've had some really good results as well. So we're conscious of that threat as always. Peterhead put out Dundee, so we were aware of that and respected the challenge. But we'll prepare well for that game. Again, the fact it's a home draw is really pleasing for us.
And last year, Martin Waghorn, just going back to his injury, he was out for a while. He was desperate to get back for the Old Firm game. Is there a danger of trying to rush him or just holding him back?
Not at all. We'll do the right thing by Martin. It's his long term. He's a pro footballer. It's his long-term career that we look after, his long-term welfare, and we'll make a right decision. So when he's ready, we'll go through all the various tests. There'll be vigorous tests. When he passes those tests, he's ready to play, but not until then.
As for Joe Dodo, who's going to be stepping in, is he ready to fulfil that role?
Joe's more than ready. Don't forget Kenny Miller, by the way. Kenny's done a great job for us, and we've got Kenny, who offers us a different type of option. You've got Joe Dodo, who showed his quality the other night. So it's nice to have those options. Martin, you know all about him. We need another one as well, and you need to make sure you have that strength in depth and you have that variety of quality as well.
And obviously Dundee coming up this weekend, they're having problems with Ken Hemming's already gone, Greg Stewart perhaps on his way out as well. Is he the kind of player you'd like to bring into it?
No, I'm never going to talk about another club's players. It'd be totally disrespectful, and Paul knows. Paul will do exactly the same. So whatever happens with their players is beyond our control. But no, we wouldn't. It's not something to interest strangers.
You beat them in the cup last year 4-0. Are you expecting something similar this week?
No, I'm expecting a very tough test. They've gone away to Ross County, had a great first result. I'm sure Paul and the players will be delighted with that. So we know the quality of challenge they'll pose to us, and it'll be a tough place to go to. There's no doubt. We have to prepare well, respect our opponent, and try and deliver the performance as always. But there's no lack of preparation on our part, that's for sure.
Mark, you spoke about previously about the difficulty of being able to compete with clubs down south when it comes to finance and go down and taking players from England. When you look at this sort of number of players from Scotland that are sort of now being attracting interest from English clubs, does it mean that the market up here is now also becoming a difficult one for you to compete with?
All the markets are difficult. All the markets. I just think we've got to look at the bigger picture, the implications of what's happening down south and the money. And I think that, as I said to you, I think the cycle has just started. Everyone's saying, can it last? Will it peak? I don't think it's even got going yet. So I think the money will increase, and the clubs will look for value. And when you see League One clubs down south bidding £1.5–2 million for players, and you see Championship to Championship going for £8, £9, £10 million, alarm bells must be going off, because they're going to seek value. I said earlier, all we can do is try and make sure that we look after our players here, try and make sure that if we do lose a player, and it's the last thing we want, but if we do lose a player, we lose them on our terms, not their terms. That's the important point.
Obviously, the club here hasn't paid a transfer fee this window yet so far, but you look across the city, Celtic are paying over £4 million for clubs like Scott Sinclair. Is there a concern there that in terms of the player that they're able to attract will perhaps make your life more hard in terms of competing with them?
We can't control anything that happens away at Celtic, at Aberdeen or Hearts or Ross County or any of the clubs at all. We can't control that. What you can control is your own club here. So we have our targets in mind. We're very happy with the squad. The additions we've made over the summer, I think, have been a nice balance of experience and youthfulness as well. But the 1 or 2 targets now, we had great support from the board. If we get these 1 or 2 targets, be delighted. But if we don't, then we're more than happy with the squad we got.
Mark, Dave King on Saturday said there is money available, though. Would you be able to go out and splash your cash in the millions if needs be, or do you have to look for value and maybe then make it up in wages?
We're never going to talk about obviously specific budgetary amounts, but I think from our point of view, we've got to add value. We've got to show the board, and it's important for the club. Where the club's been in the last 4 or 5 years, I think it's imperative that we show we get value. Now, what that value is obviously is a big question, but we've got to show that we can add value. I look at Jordan Rossiter, I look at Joe Dodu as young players. I look at Joey Barton, who would have been in the Premier League with Burnley. That for me is us getting value and recruiting well. It's not about how much you spend; it's how you spend the money you've got. So it's not always about the big sums. Some of the best business. I look at Andre Gray now, who's now a £25-30 million player minimum probably. It was £500,000 2 years ago. So it's not about the amount. It's eye for a player, value in the player, making the right move at the right time. And if you can do that, put them in a good environment, then you reap the rewards, I think.
Dave King also said that he's going to keep some money back for January in case you need to go again or there's injuries, etc. Because you don't just want all the money now and bring in the guys just now.
I think it's very shrewd of the chairman. I think the chairman's basically saying that the what-if scenario, be it suspensions, as you say, be it long-term injury, whatever it may be, touch wood doesn't happen, but we have a provisional plan in place. So I think it's just been very astute in terms of managing the budget. But right now we've got the great support from the board. If we get the 2 players in we want, then great, fantastic. But we've had that support, which is the important part.
Now you're in the Premiership, are you looking to tweak your principles in terms of how you play to get over the line in some difficult games such as Saturday in terms of the result there?
I think when you say tweak, I think it's a bit of a grey area. What we dominated possession again. We created lots of chances. Should we have won the game? I think we should have done. Did we win the game? No. But we had that last year where one game we had 27 chances. I think at Alloa, 27 chances and 21 corners, and we drew. So again, it's us being more clinical, which we're working on day in, day out. It's having the options. It's teammates getting used to it. You saw Joe Dodu offering a different option in terms of forward runs. You saw Michael. You see Kenny Miller coming short with options and turning. So we have that. It's how best we maximise the possession. But I don't think we have to tweak it too far. I think we're in a good place and we're not going to change. We'll have changes within the formation. Whether we go 2 and 1, 1 and 2 in midfield, whether we change it slightly, and that's fine. That's what we'll do. But the overall formation will change the same. Say the same rather.
Sorry, Danny and Robson and Lee Wallace, I think they missed the game on Tuesday night with stomach bug. They okay for the weekend?
Yeah, they're both clear up. We had Wednesday off. We sent Danny home on Tuesday, precautionary. Lee Wallace was better but couldn't play. They had Wednesday off and treated with the doctor and everything else, and they're fine. They trained well this morning, but they just had a nasty stomach bug. That was all.
Josh Windass, is he?
He's running this morning. Matt Crooks joined in this morning. Great to see Matt Crooks come back, as you saw. So he's starting the ball work now. He'll be with us again tomorrow, and then with us full time as of next week, which is great to see him. He adds a real quality and physicality, and Josh hopefully is not far behind.
So both missing for Saturday, but
both missing for Saturday. Other than that, we're a fully fit squad.